So yesterday morning, the New York Times Daily featured a discussion about Bad Bunny with the tagline, "The stakes are high," but it's unclear who the stakes are high for. Bad Bunny is one of the most popular artists in the world, by some measures, second only to Taylor Swift. He'd already made Grammy history by having nominations for Spanish language entries in the Best Record, Best Song, and Album categories, and he is scheduled to perform next week at the Super Bowl halftime show to an audience of over 100 million people. In short, there's absolutely no stakes for him. He's won, and he absolutely deserves it. I admit I was a latecomer to this latest album. I didn't really dig into it until I took a trip to Puerto Rico last November, where I had it on continuous loop as I walked around the streets of San Juan and drove to the beaches and mountains and the western coast. I talk a little bit about that trip in a few posts on my Substack, and I'm glad I sutured Bad Bunny's music to those hot days in Puerto Rico, because now I can listen to that album while I shovel snow here in Chicago, and it warms me from the inside. So, really, there aren't any stakes for Bad Bunny. He's already winning. The question the New York Times was asking was whether he might say anything political at the awards, which might further trigger the ire of Donald Trump and his minions. But this is the dumb question. Bad Bunny triggered them by simply existing. And the truth is, they're only solidifying their position as losers. After he was announced as the Super Bowl halftime performer, Trump declared he would be skipping the game altogether, and Turning Point USA declared that they would host an alternative all-American halftime, capitalizing on their followers' idiotic belief that people from Puerto Rico are not American citizens. For months, they've been promising this sort of star-studded lineup and a concert that's going to compete with the halftime show. And today, they finally made an announcement, which is really that they won't have any stars and they don't really have a concert either. What they will have instead are a few country music performers and Kid Rock, who's going to perform in an intimate gathering that will be streamed on a bunch of cable channels you've never heard of, as well as YouTube and Rumble. Collectively, if you add all these performers up, the monthly audience of these artists add up to 1/5 of Bad Bunny's, and whatever the newcomer's value is, having Kid Rock in the mix just automatically screams butthurt loser. That is his brand, after all, and it often seems that that's the brand Turning Point is chasing. As it turned out, Bad Bunny won even more last night, and he didn't mince words when he had his first acceptance speech. He knew what was at stake. He opened by saying "Ice out" and was greeted by a standing ovation. He wasn't the only one who communicated those sentiments last night.